Sawadee Cap viewers. Today we have a fantastic story from our subscriber, Keith from Ireland. Keith shares a remarkably candid and often humorous account of his very first trip to Bangkok in 2014, a journey taken with two newly divorced friends. Fresh from a long marriage, he recounts his initial sensory overload, his dive into the legendary Nana Plaza, and the hilarious, eye-opening lessons learned about Thai bar culture, including the crucial difference between a bar fine and a check bill. It's a tale of rediscovery, unexpected delights, and why Bangkok continues to hold a special place in his heart years later. It was May of 2014, a month that felt less like a fresh start and more like the official close of a very long, exhausting chapter. My divorce papers were finally signed, sealed, and delivered, making it undeniably real. For 3 agonizing years before that, I'd poured every ounce of myself into trying to salvage my marriage, a desperate, often humiliating effort that ultimately failed. That period had left me utterly drained, not just emotionally, but with a hollow ache, a profound loneliness that seemed to settle deep in my bones. It was a silence, a void that I felt keenly. My good friend, a perceptive soul who'd seen me slowly fading, noticed the funk I was in. He knew I needed a serious change of scenery, a shock to the system. Come to Thailand, he suggested, almost casually, but with an underlying conviction that caught my attention. You can forget your troubles for a while and have a really good time. The words resonated like a lifeline. Forget my troubles, that was the key. I wasn't looking for love or even a grand adventure, just an escape from the relentless melancholy. The idea of sunshine, warmth, and something utterly different from a grey, post-divorce reality back home in, the UK, was incredibly appealing. I managed to convince another friend, who was also navigating the choppy waters of a recent divorce, that this was our collective therapy. So the 3 of us, a trio of newly single men, set off. I was 47 years old then, certainly not a naive young lad, but entirely unprepared for the visceral assault on the senses that greeted us. Stepping out of the air-conditioned sanctuary of Suvarnabhumi Airport felt like walking into a steam bath. My glasses, an extension of my face, instantly fogged over, blinding me in a humid haze, a stark, immediate contrast to the cool, often damp air of the UK I'd left behind. The taxi ride felt like a blur, a chaotic symphony of unfamiliar horns and bright garish lights as we sped through the late-night streets. When we finally pulled up to the back entrance of our hotel, it was well past 1 a.m. Exhausted but buzzing with a nervous energy, I knew even then that this trip was going to be something. We were staying at the Hotel 24 Inn, a genuinely nice place with a fantastic staff. Its location was perfect too, just 1 stop from Asoke and 2 from Nana Plaza, which we'd soon come to know intimately. We were far too excited to sleep that first night, so we were up early the next day, eager to explore. We walked around the neighborhood, just trying to get our bearings, and I was utterly mesmerized by the sights, sounds, and smells of Sukhumvit. It was like that moment in The Wizard of Oz. We definitely weren't in Kansas anymore. My friend, the Bangkok veteran, suggested we hit Nana Plaza after dinner. He described it as far superior to any strip club we'd ever seen in the United States. With my hopes high for a lucky night, we set off. After 14 years of marriage and then 3 more without female company, I was more than ready to meet some new ladies. I just hoped they'd be attractive and, frankly, less stuck up than many women I'd encountered back home in the States. A novice in Nana, that's what I was, just trying to, learn the ropes and keep an eye on the bills. Back in those days, the central area of Nana Plaza was open. dotted with many small cubicle-like bars. After a few initial drinks, the friend who'd invited us suddenly got a call from his girlfriend and, well, announced he had to leave to see her. So there we were, two recently divorced newbies, left to discover Nana on our own. We stuck to the open bar, drinking for another hour or so. As the alcohol started to chip away at our shyness, we decided it was time to venture into our very first go-go bar. We walked in rather sheepishly, and almost immediately, a cute little Thai woman named Jane came over and started chatting with us. Both my friend and I were instantly taken by her. She was slender, light-skinned, and had one of those truly radiant smiles that Thailand, the land of smiles, is famous for. For me, it felt like sitting with an Asian model. She was absolutely delightful. In those days, quite a few of the girls had their tops off, which I found fascinating, but also quite new to me. Remember, this was my very first trip to Bangkok. The three of us, Jane, my friend and I, sat drinking for about 2 more hours. Every now and then, another bar girl would approach and ask to sit with us. Being such a novice, and having read stories about tourists being drugged and robbed, I was very cautious. So instead of welcoming new girls, I'd politely decline with a no, thank you. But I'd always buy them a drink and wish them good luck for their evening. I even thought it might upset Jane if other women joined us at our table. Of course, my perspective on that changed the very next night, when Jane herself asked if one of her friends could join us. But this particular story is about my very first night at Nana Plaza, so I'll stick to that narrative. We were fortunate that Jane spoke English well enough to answer our dozens of questions about how the bar operated. She pointed out that every girl wore a button with a number. She explained that we could take any girl out of the bar who was wearing a number. She elaborated that when a girl left with a customer, the bar charged a bar fine because she wouldn't be working during that time. She also told us that the girls received a separate fee for their services, and these fees were negotiated directly between the girl and the customer. When we asked what a customary fee was, she said around 2,000 baht. We asked about Jane's personal life, and surprise, surprise, she was from the countryside and had come to Bangkok a few years back to make money. She talked about rural life, her family, water buffaloes, and so on. But by then my eyes were already wandering, spotting more and more girls around the bar, the vast majority of whom were incredibly attractive. I asked Jane again to confirm that any girl with a number could indeed be taken out of the bar. She confirmed it, and I almost fainted from sheer delight. Sitting there sipping my drink, I simply couldn't believe how beautiful these women were. One after another, they were so attractive and all seemed so friendly. When Jane excused herself to use the restroom, my friend turned to me, his eyes wide with amazement, and said, "I love this place. You don't even have to work at it to get a girl." We both decided right then and there that we'd spend the next few days exploring the many other bars in Nana. We wondered if they could possibly have as many beautiful girls. Instead of venturing into more bars that very night, we decided to return the next day, as we were both utterly exhausted. I asked my friend if he was interested in Jane, and he said yes, but he wanted to look around a bit more before deciding whom to bring back to the hotel. We'd only been to one bar that night, and there were so many more in Nana Plaza to explore. My friend offered to pay the tab for our drinks, suggesting I could cover it the following night. I agreed and headed to the restroom. While taking a piss, a girl walked in to use the toilet. Then, another girl came in just to use the mirror. I think that's the precise moment I truly fell in love with Bangkok. I knew, unequivocally, that this was my kind of vacation spot. It's always the little things in life that truly capture your attention. When I returned to the table, I immediately noticed Jane had changed out of her bikini and into regular clothes. I asked her why she'd changed, and she calmly replied that my friend had bar-fined her. She then reminded me of her earlier explanation about how girls had to be bar-fined to be taken out, and a price negotiated for their services. I then asked Jane if the drinks had been paid for, and when she said no, I asked her how much we owed. She said she'd get the check bill. Once Jane returned, I paid the bill, and my friend, looking utterly bewildered, asked me what I was doing. I told him I was paying for the drinks. He insisted, "Don't do that. I already paid for the bill." I clarified, "No, you didn't pay for the drinks." Jane said you bar-fined her, and we still needed to pay for the alcohol. The look on my friend's face, I swear, was absolutely priceless. It wasn't just confusion. It was a slow dawning of realization, a blend of mild embarrassment, genuine surprise, and then finally, a flash of pure, unadulterated amusement. His jaw dropped just a fraction, his eyes widened, and I could practically see the mental gears grinding as he replayed the entire conversation, the full implications of bar fine versus check bill finally clicking into place. It was a moment of perfect, unscripted comedy. And that, I truly believe, is precisely why so many tourists fall head over heels in love with traveling, especially to places as wild and unpredictable as Bangkok. It's not just the planned sights or the comfortable resorts. It's these unexpected episodes, these small, often humorous surprises that strip away your preconceptions and force you to adapt. They break the monotony of the familiar, challenge your assumptions, and leave you with stories that are far more vivid and memorable than any postcard. It's the thrill of the unknown, the satisfaction of figuring something out on the fly, even if it makes you feel a bit foolish for a moment. My friend, now fully understanding the system of Nana Plaza and his unwitting initiation into it, simply laughed. It was a good-natured laugh, a sign that the lesson had been taken in stride. He then decided, there and then, to take Jane home that night. He was clearly quite pleased with the outcome, and they reportedly had a lovely evening, marking his successful, albeit financially surprising, first foray into the Bangkok experience. For me, it was simply the end of a long, eye-opening day. But I was just as satisfied with the knowledge gained, even if I wasn't heading back to the hotel with a bar fine of my own. I have returned to Bangkok every year since that first trip in 2014, with the exception of 2020 due to the pandemic. I've learned an incredible amount since that initial visit, and although things are very different now that I'm 58, I still eagerly look forward to every return. Of course, I'm not as easily surprised as in those early years, and I certainly can't drink or chase women like I could when I was 47. But I still find Bangkok full of surprises, and with plenty of cute ladies in the bars. I believe I still enjoy Bangkok so much because I go without any grand expectations. I go to simply have a good time, to see old friends and make new ones. And of course, I go to learn. To this day, I still chuckle when I think about how we learned the crucial difference between a bar fine and a check bill that night. So, there you have it. Keith's unforgettable initiation into Bangkok's vibrant world. From overcoming post-divorce loneliness to navigating the lively Nana Plaza and learning the ropes and the bills of go-go bars, his story is a testament to the city's unique charm and its capacity for both surprises and genuine connection. What do you think of Keith's first impressions? And have you ever had a similar light bulb moment while traveling? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this honest and entertaining glimpse into Bangkok, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more real-life adventures from our incredible community. Thanks for watching.